Hello everyone, I'm going to be talking about America's national pastime, which is baseball. Everyone knows of all-stars like Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, and Barry Bonds, even though he's an outlier. But no one really knows about who started it, or where, or what they were doing at the time. And I believe that since baseball has always been, and like the America's eye, it's always been one of the most important things, that it's important for everyone to know about it. And this year, uh, for the 2020 and 2021 Olympics, it is being added as a sport with softball. In this speech, I'm going to tell you about where baseball started and how it started, what baseball is and how it's going right now, and how it's seen around the world. So, about the history, we don't know a lot of how it actually started. So, it's based on an English game known as rounders, and was played in like the 1600s and 1700s. But the first like actual rule set that we play in was made in New England in the 1800s, and everyone loved it. And it was one of the first like main like national sports. And it has and to this day has two leagues, the AFL and another one, and it also had discrimination and had also had a Negro League for all non-white participants. But very quickly, according to Powers Beck, the first Native American player, known as Jacob Jimison, was added, and he broke the barrier. But for African Americans, it still took very long until the first African American named Jackie Robinson joined in the 40s, and then everyone was allowed to play from then on in. Now, current baseball is very different from old school baseball. There are currently 30 teams, 29 in the US and I think one in Canada, and they play 162 games, usually in 7 head-to-heads against each team. So there's thousands of games. So this game is in 9 innings of one batting team and one pitching team, and after you get 3 outs, you switch, and then there's going to be 9 of those individual back and forths. And it is currently in the MLB, which is the main company that is based off, plays the game in many countries in the US, Canada, Mexico, England, Korea, and Japan. And according to St. Pierre, it is a worldwide phenomenon with many people who watch it just to see what happens on October when the World Series happens. And this year we're going to have the 116th World Series, and there are also other points to baseball. If you've heard the term of Double A, there are many leagues under MLB. There's a ton of them, and there's also female leagues and like children's leagues. Now, other than people around the world watching baseball, there's actually other leagues around the world too. They are there's leagues in North America, South America, Asia, and in Europe. Though Japan and Mexico have the biggest uh, like audiences for their individual leagues. However, the MLB in the US is still like the top of the lineup where most like the best players in the world go. And as I told before, it's being added to the Olympics. And it's actually been in the Olympics before, but it was taken out because the MLB like season conflicts with the Olympic like time. So the MLB will not allow its players to have ever been in the Olympics, so they took it away. But it's being added again, but the MLB still will not allow players into the like MLB contract players into the Olympics. And it's so big that I think last month I was watching TV and I saw a Korean game of the Dinos versus, I can't remember the other team, but it was that. Okay, now the reason I said this is because I want you all to understand like the U.S. like frame through the eyes of baseball and how it showed like how the U.S. was in the same way as how actual like events happened. And I know a lot of people think that baseball is really long and takes and you nothing really happens, but I thought it's also very interesting, and it's very interesting to the whole world. And like if people all over the world watch it, I think that you should at least give it a shot. And at the very least, you should cheer on our people that are going to be in the Olympics and see how they're going to do.